They did another one of those black and white movies that Darby Allin likes to do. A car crashed into a bus, and then Darby jumped off of something, and Sting had a flamethrower. And it looks like they spend a lot of money and time to do these things. You would think sooner or later that somebody would figure out what the fuck's going on. Did that mean anything, or was it just a series of images?
Well, Darby has a little bit of a history of doing black and white jackass style work. I really don't know what the connotation is, but boy, Sting with that flamethrower. Goodbye, snow.
Maybe that's what he's got, the flamethrower, so he can get to the ring in the wintertime because it always snows in his entrance. All right, it's a 6-man tag. And the reason for this was simply to get Sting, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara on the show. And I don't have a problem with that. It's good when you get your legendary icon and 2 of your top young baby faces on the show. When you stick them in the ring with a completely unmatched tag team on the other side and then make it absolutely no rules and everybody in at the same time and we're going to fight all around the arena for no reason with job guys, you have just devalued everything else that you might potentially ever do with any top guys. They wonder why that the title match, a lot of the world title match main event, people were fucking checking their watches and scratching their asses. Sting, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy, Andre Olio, and Isaiah Cassidy. Not even a full tag team in there with Jose in the corner. And a trios match. If they're south of the border and everybody agrees to work the right side, then it's a trios match. Otherwise, it's a 6-man tag. They have to sound like basement marks even when they're doing commentary on national television. Who calls it a trios match except newsletter readers? So they jump-started with Darby Allin doing a dive. They did a 6-way on the floor. Darby pulled a garbage can out. Jose was a full-time participant. He's just getting beat up too. There's a chair came into play. They put a garbage can onto Jose or put Jose in the garbage can, depending on how you look at it. And then Darby did a dive on Jose while he was in the garbage can. So I started fast-forwarding. They were at that point all out in the arena, and the Butcher and the Baker and Mark Quinn had become involved. Remember when Mark Quinn was going to be a future superstar because of his amazing athletic talent?
Remember when the Young Bucks put over Private Party as a way to elevate them?
Remember when I told the people what the Young Bucks really did in that finish and nobody believed me until they saw with hindsight that's exactly what they did? So then Butch Cassidy, Isaiah Cassidy.
Butch Cassidy.
Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid Sammy Guevara are on some kind of tower on the stage by the entrance, and they did a Spanish fly off that through 2 tables. But fortunately, the Butcher and the Baker carried out another table and then stacked another on top. And I said, fuck this. And I fast-forwarded some more. And I stopped when I saw, what the fuck am I seeing? Sting jumped off the balcony and splashed Andre through 3 tables in the back of the arena. But that ain't the finish. So I fast-forwarded some more. And apparently then Darby Allin reverse DDT'd Matt Hardy through 2 chairs and then missed the coffin drop, landed on the mat and kind of hit Matt's ass with the back of his head. 1, 2, 3. Good fucking God. There was no reason for this match with mid-card guys, for opponents, to do a garbage match with all that furniture and all those bumps. It just made meaningless anything that they can do in the future for an angle or a grudge match with main event guys, and buried their world championship. What in the world? How are two guys in a ring supposed to follow all that fucking lunacy, all the furniture, and fighting all over the arena with 6 guys in the match and 5 guys that ran in? That's what the Booker of the Year. I laugh. And everybody else does too that knows anything about the wrestling business and doesn't want a job. The veterans smiling at Tony Khan's face and giving him the thumbs up on Twitter want a fucking job because this was embarrassing, needless and unnecessary. It's like cutting your own dick off. Why would you just sit around one day and say, I'll just chop my cock off, or I'll just shoot myself in the foot, or I'll just expose myself to leprosy? Jesus Christ. Let Sting and Sammy and Darby, if you don't have an angle for them, just go out there and beat 3 guys in 7 minutes and look great doing it, and save this shit for when people will pay to see it with people they'll pay to see doing it. And then still don't do half of this shit because that's irresponsible. What do you think of this abortion?
I was already falling asleep. I mean, that's the point. The match was unnecessary. I agree you have to have Sting and Darby and Sammy. You would think you would have to have them on a show just because they were the guys that ran out to save Punk for a reason last week. They are really the top babyface stars. If you think about it, who's a true babyface there? Darby, Sammy right now. So it makes sense. You want them on the show. But it was just this, and it was already so late into the fucking show. And no one cares about Matt Hardy and all this. They'll care again when his brother's there, just like the rest of his career. We know how this works. I hated this, but I was falling asleep. I couldn't believe I was done after Regal. I was like, okay, I've seen a lot of the show. The matches I want to see have already aired. The match that surprised me, the opening match, already aired. Nothing's going to top that. And nothing did top that, and it was a struggle to make it through the rest of this show. This match shouldn't have even been on the show.
And 3.5 hours into this, and see, that's from the start of the pay-per-view. They apparently aired a countdown show and had 2 or 3 matches beforehand.
I watched that too.
Oh my God. Why?
Well, I had ordered the event on Bleacher Report Live or BR Live, whatever, and once I ordered it, you could press play, and I ordered it in advance of the show, and then it pressed play, and all of a sudden Hook was wrestling. So I said, oh, I'll watch this.
Well, see, I ordered the legitimate pay-per-view. The Spectrum assholes, I've snuck under them. They're letting me order the pay-per-views now so that I could have a fast-forward function with on-screen capability so that I could see what I was skipping past because I knew this was going to be a marathon. And it started right at 8 o'clock Eastern with the Jericho-Kingston match. So the people in the building and people that were watching on other services, it was 4.5 going on 5 hours into this show, plus the time that they got there at the building. What the fuck? So anyway,